God, I was gonna film this yesterday when I had eyebrows, but it was way too damn hot up here. Anyway, so I know Barbieheimer has been out for a week now. Still haven't gotten to it. Remember pre-COVID, I used to be at these movies, summer blockbusters, like every week, like first in line. All that. God, I used to be like, oh god, my hair's falling out. I used to be like on this shit. Now I'm just like, whatever, whenever I could get to it. I'm tired. I'm also working a lot more nowadays. But anyway, why am I extra yellow? I mean, I'm in the shirt. Anyway, so I watched the Flash movie. Anyway, so I wrote notes, so you know it's a good thing. Um, it's not good. I didn't think it was gonna be good. Any person who said the movie was good, I didn't believe them. Um, it's just, it's not good. And it's like, are we surprised that it's not good? When did DC make a good movie? Like I probably the redo of the Suicide Squad, the first Shazam, the second one was just a fucking Skittles commercial. Fucking Black Adam was there. I think someone on Letterbox had like the best way of describing it. Was like, was it like those movie like clip channels that just like has clips, and it's just like you just watch that instead of an actual movie. Uh, Anyway, it's not good. Anyway, we'll get to it. Anyway, so obviously there's spoilers. Like this movie's been out for a few months now. I'm just gonna go into it. The whole thing spoilers. There's none of this usual shit I do, which is like I'll just be kind of no spoilers now. Go anyway. So look at my notes. The movie literally just starts, and what I mean by the movie just starts is that the movie, like, it does the uh production, studio, da da da, and it just goes into like stuff, and you're like, oh god, not even like a okay, the movie has started, we're establishing, a little bit where we are. It's just like, and you're just like, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, the movie just starts, so you're just there at like a cafe with freaking what's his name? Oh, with Barry Allen. I was like, what's the dude's name? We're there with the Flash with Barry Allen, and he's like, oh, I have a thing and stuff, and I need my special sandwich, and then the guy at the cafe is like, oh, anyway. It's like I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway. So yeah, he can't wait for his sandwich because he's in a hurry, and the usual cute girl that's there isn't there. And so then he gets a distress call from Alfred, and Alfred's like, hey, we need you to help with this. And then, Barry's like, well, what about, like, I almost said Steve. What about, Clark, and what about, all this other stuff. And pretty much, like, Alfred is like, yo, I try to call everyone else on the Justice League, but they're just not picking up. So we're going with not even second banana, but we're going with like 400th banana of the group. Sorry, bro. Um, so then he did a quick change into his suit, and then he like gotta go fast to the place. And I didn't even realize that it was a hospital because I just saw a building and people running, and then there was like an H on like this tall, because it's like a really tall like skyscraper building, and there's like an H on there, and I was kind of like, what kind of corporation is H? Because you're used to like freaking Wayne Enterprise with a W, so I was like, what's H? And then I noticed like nurses and shit and scrubs, and I was like, oh, it's a hospital. Okay, I somehow missed out on that kind of information. So then Batman's on his way. He's on the Bat bike, and unlike the Nolan Bat bike with the big fat, like pretty much like spherical wheels, um, like yoga balls that he's just like riding on. This one's got like a fat wheel in the back, and then two wheels together in the front. I don't know why. I guess they wanted to be like, hey, you know what? That was actually a really good design, but we can't be that shit. How do we make a difference? Two wheels in the front, two thinner wheels in the front. That's it. We got it. different. Um, yeah, so, you know, the Flash gets to the hospital, and then, it was like the building starts collapsing, and then it starts raining babies. It just starts raining. Ah, it's raining babies. Hallelujah. Anyway, it starts raining babies, and then this is where the movie, because it's Barry Allen and he's the goofy guy, the comic relief. Um, they try to like just fucking shove in some like funny moments, and like at times it kind of works, but later in the movie there's a part where like it was very much like a like Edgar Wright kind of way of being funny, but not executed well like Edgar Wright. But anyway, but yeah, so this is like the babies are raining down, but he's the Flash, da da da, and so but he's like low on energy because he didn't get his special sandwich yet. He's looking at his freaking Flash watch, and so then he's like up in the sky, running super fast, doing all that stuff. He's going at bajillion speed, and then and it's like there's like a microwave and there's like a burrito inside, and it's like and I don't know, I was already starting to like blank out on this movie whether like he was operating that microphone, that microwave, the microwave, um while it's unplugged to cook up a burrito for him to eat, because then he was like burrito on the watch, and then he was just like oh my god, I'm shedding like a cat. Anyway, so then yeah, he like goes, "Woo, I have my energy," and then he tosses a baby into one of into the microwave, closes up, and it's like, "All right, baby, I'm sending you away," and then tries to like balance all the other babies, so they all kind of like fall like within sequence like this, and then there's like a therapy dog, and then there's also like the nurse who's like that stuff. So then he's able to catch all the babies onto a gurney, and then there's the baby in the microwave, and there's like that lady who's like the nurse who's just that that's just her role. And it's just like, oh, before that, when he gets to the site of the fucking hospital, like, we all know in these superhero movies, we all know they use a lot of visual effects. It's very obvious. Obviously, they didn't, bust down. They didn't actually break a building. They didn't Bad Boys to it, all that stuff. It's obvious they're in front of, green screens, blue screens, da da da. We know that. It's like, they do that in so many movies nowadays. It's rare that it's like, oh my god, they built a set, kind of thing. Anyway, but it's just like, I don't know like what they did to the visual effects people. Maybe they didn't like lock them in a cage like Marvel does or something. But Jesus Christ, the fact that you could just see like the fuzziness around Flash, and mind you, Flash isn't all red and some yellow, so it's like when I'm in front of a green screen and then it looks like, half of my head is missing, kind of thing. It's like, that shouldn't be that hard to like key in. I've done that stuff before. And even the stuff I've done previously is like, not that bad for someone who's like not good at doing that kind of stuff, like I'm super amateur at that stuff. And even stuff I've done, even with the green hair, to try and adjust to this to not blend in, is not bad. But like, how the fuck, it's like, you're like, oh, we're like a big bajillion dollar company and in a big bajillion, budgeted thing. And then, I don't think they pay their visual effects people well enough, but again, that's not the point. It is the point, but also like the fact that it's just like, there's the fuzzy, like there's YouTubers out there that fucking do better, like, not to shit on YouTubers, but Jesus Christ, man, like, just anyway, just so bad. Oh god, I just keep shedding hair. Oh my god, the fuck. This movie is stressing me out so much. I'm just like, all my hair is falling out. Anyway, yeah. So, and then, so they get to, so then like the babies are saved. They get to more of the terror. The reason why the hospital is in disarray is because there was like terrorism and stuff, and that's why Bruce Wayne was on his bike, because there's just like bad people and stuff. And I love how it's like, this is supposed to be, Gotham City or whatever, or wherever the fuck they are. And I'm just like, this is very much the UK, but I understand they want to have like the old like stone kind of buildings. Um, anyway, anyway, that's not the point. But so they get to a bridge, and it was like, oh my god, bad guys bridge, and help me out, blah blah blah, and then something falls, but and then ooh, lasso of truth, and then you just hear just the Wonder Woman theme hits like so loud, I mean, it's better than the Snyder cut when every time Wonder Woman shows up and it was the like theme. You're just like, what the fuck was that? What? Yeah, so she shows up, and then, she pulls Batman up to safety, and there's like this like weird like flirty thing where he's like, thanks. For some reason, Ben Affleck is like, hey, thanks. Chunk loves slot. Like, what the fuck, bro? Why'd your face do that? You Stallone with that? And he's just like, hey, thank you. And then, like, freaking, Wonder Woman's like, helped. Also, look at this hair, Total, like, I don't think they did something with the hair where I was like, I think that's hair pieces. Because it was just like, because in the other movie, there's like, oh, that's hair. And this one, I'm like, that's some hair pieces. Anyway, so, with the lasso of truth, they got on to Barry, and then what was it he confessed where he's like, I know what sex is, but I never experienced it, and it was just like, of course, man, of course. Because I think they even, like, Batman was like, oh, like, what was it, like, I came up with this persona to mask my insecurity of blah, 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 and it was like, well, yeah okay, yeah, dude, like, anyway, so that was her cameo, that Wonder Woman's cameo. There's no cameo from Cyborg because the guy who played Cyborg was like, fuck Zack Snyder, fuck all this shit, y'all treated me like shit, and then try to make his character the central story of your, 4-hour cut kind of shit. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. So, really good for him. The only mention of Cyborg is later on in the movie where it was like he never had the accident and he was just like a star football player, which is fine, like better for you, bro. So yeah, so anyway, that happens. Let's see. He runs so fast, he went to the previous day, and it was just like, oh man, that's weird, So then he realized, he's like, oh, I can run, even further. But then, like, while he's running, and you watch kind of like, you're kind of like in this weird kind of like, looks like a stadium, like gladiator thing going on, Coliseum thing, and you just see like the timeline kind of like, and in every image that's showing up is like, it looks like it's AI generated, like it's like PS3 kind of graphics, of like, this happened, blah, blah, the sandwich, like, blah, 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 it's like, it just like keeps flowing, it's like brightly colored, and he's like doing the thing where you see his legs going backwards. It looks so fucking silly. Oh yeah, so then, because he realizes he could go back a day, he's like, what if I go all the way back? Like, what if I, because you see like a flashback of when he was younger and like his mom dying, like we all know like he lost his mom, but like you get to see like, how like also it's like his dad's like convicted of the murder because like they never found the person, the dad was found with the weapon, all that stuff. So he's like, well, what if, I go back in time, I keep my mom from dying, and then yada yada. So he runs all the way back, and then I think he's like 18 at the time, and he's no, sorry, he runs all the way back to the day that she went grocery shopping, put the can of tomatoes in there, and it's like, cool, it's solved. Dad doesn't have to leave to go get a can of tomatoes, and then discovers mom dead, kind of stuff. So then he goes back to what he thought was current time, but it was actually, still a few years, where I think he's like 18, and he comes home, he sees his mom, and his mom's like, oh my god, honey, you cut your hair, da-da-da, let's have dinner. And he's obviously like so happy, like, he's got his mom back, his dad's not in jail, like he's just excited as hell. And then he sees himself coming in, and it's younger Ezra Miller with longer hair. It's more like the Ezra Miller we're used to, which like the longish hair that they have. Um, and then it's like, then we got two Ezra Millers, we got two Barry Allens, you know, and then, you know, Barry's like, oh shit, you don't have powers. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, oh my god. And then having to explain that, like, he's the Flash. He's like, what? I'm just some dumb shit. And then it's like, cool, come into this lab, and on this day, just so happens it's tonight, you know, that's how I got my powers. But dude's like, well, I don't want to get struck by lightning. He's like, no, you have to. It's your prophecy. It's your thing. And then current, you know, Flash stands in front, and then younger, you know, other Flashes there, and then the lightning strikes, you know, current Flash and goes through him and then hits, you know, um, 18 Barry Allen. So then OG Flash loses his powers, and it gets given to younger Barry Allen. God, I sound insane. So it's like, oh shit, no. Yeah, so I said Relighting took his powers away. 18-year-old Flash learns his powers. The silly comedy in this is so dumb. I forgot what that part was about, but probably more of the like goofy, hey, different, you know. Oh, in all bold, I wrote down naked Ezra Miller. Oh yeah, because like the New Flash, let's call him that. OG Flash and New Flash. New Flash starts running, and then clothes like burn off because of the friction and all that stuff. So, like, you know, Brosif is just, you know, naked, and it's like, I don't want to see that. Zod is back. I forgot how they like convinced Michael Shannon to do it, but then again, you know, fuck it. Michael Shannon is like, he's enjoyable, and he always plays a really good bad guy, you know. Although I just couldn't stand the, you know, the fake visor thing that they put in front of him, because like the tracking on his face just kind of doesn't, you know, it doesn't like always, you know, it's like in the first Suicide Squad with Cara Delevingne, when she was Enchantress, and like her face didn't always match up whenever the head, you know, it's just like, no, just keep just you know, yeah, that kind of says, what are you doing, man? Like, if your visual effects people can't do it right, then don't fucking do it, you know. Anyway, so they're trying to look for, so they go to the Wayne Manor. Like, Bruce Wayne is just like a disheveled old man. He's got like long hair. He's just like in his man, like, fuck this shit kind of stuff. Anyway, Michael Keaton is back. That's fucking awesome. And you know what? That's the only good thing about this movie, is that one, we've got a Batman I like, and two, it's Michael Keaton. And the only parts of the movie that are good is when Michael Keaton Batman exists in it, because it's member berries, you know, with the fact that, again, it's Michael Keaton Batman. They have the score playing. It's a way better actor and well-deserved person as Batman. You know, it's not Ben Affleck, for fuck's sakes. You know, but yeah. So when he's on camera, that's great. But yeah, you're halfway through the movie. So the movie is about almost 2.5 hours, like 2:20, whatever. So about like an hour and 10. That's when you finally get to Batman, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ, because then you're stuck with two Ezra Millers the entire movie. You know, you're just stuck with him. But yeah, and then I wrote in all caps, oh my god, Batman is so fucking awesome. I mean, yeah, he is, you know. So then, they think they're gonna find, he was about to say Henry Cavill. They think they're gonna find Kal-El in like this prison thing, but instead it's actually Supergirl, but she looks like emaciated and all gross and stuff, because she obviously hasn't been outside, but they save her and like bring her outside. Obviously the sun, you know, revitalizes her, and she just starts whipping ass. And the actress who plays Supergirl is pretty cool. I do like that they went with like someone who kind of looked androgynous. I like that the suit, like, it's kind of like how Henry Cavill's suit is, you know, it's like blue, obviously none of the silly underwear thing. You know, it wasn't like the skirt, and she wasn't like blonde and very femmy. You know, like I like the idea of that. It's like it's a little different, but I also feel like it's very wasted on a project like this. You know, um, oh yeah, and, Barry gets his powers back. There's a battle scene, and okay, so that battle scene, which is just like out in a tarmac somewhere, in front of more screens, and just a lot of ones and zeros are happening, and then it's just like it's a lot of like, oh, before I get to that, so then New Flash decides to build his own Flash suit, giving the Flash suit back to Barry because he got his powers back. Um, and he just pretty much took like an old bat suit and then kind of like made his own thing. And the part where I was saying how it's kind of like an Edgar Miller, wow, because I'm thinking Ezra Miller and Edgar Wright, Jesus fucking Christ, an Edgar Wright type of way of doing comedy, is that it was like all this stuff of like, yeah, we're gonna like tape it, do this, spray it, do that, and then just cut to like you just like sawing, you know. So it's like, you know, like in Shaun of the Dead, where it was like pee, flush, go, boom, walking out the door, or it's like, you know, Scott Pilgrim is the best thing, which is like it's like getting ready, time to go, and tying my shoes, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like I saw that and I was like, I see where you're trying to go. I did find it kind of funny, but not enough for me to like laugh out loud, just to be like, huh, you know. Anyway, yeah. So the battle scene. Oh my god, like I thought someone online was joking where freaking OG Flash says, "Come on, Barbie," and then New Flash says, "Let's go party." Because with Barbenheimer being out, like, or coming out at the time, I was just like, "Oh, everyone's just memeing," you know. And then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, they weren't memeing. It was actually a thing, a line of dialogue in the movie." Like, Jesus fucking Christ. So anyway, that happened. So yeah, the Flashes are doing their thing. Batman is being awesome, just fly. I love that his aircraft where like if it starts doing the G's, he's like standstill, but everything else is flipping around, so he's not like, you know. Supergirl's kicking ass. It's all great. It's all stuff. But then Supergirl dies. Stab, blood, because Zod wants to steal, like, her blood, because that's why they wanted to, because blah blah. Oh, the whole reason why there's no Superman is because Kal-El didn't make it. He dead, whatever, you know, because they got Henry Cavill for, like, 10 seconds in Black Adam, and then Henry Cavill's like, peace, bye, Witcher, I'm back to, oh no, I've got nothing now, you know. Yeah, so they want to steal the blood, she's dead, Batman crashes his plane into like a mothership, which I don't know why, you know, it's Batman, he's smart, I don't know why he didn't think that had like, you know, the Independence Day shields on there, but he dies, you know, both Flashes are not happy with it, and so then they run backwards to try to fix it, they go back, and they try to rectify it, they save both of them, but then they both still die differently, okay, and then OG Flash is like, all right, there's nothing we can do about it. This is just is what it is. But then New Flash is like, no, I'm gonna keep trying to fix it and then making more, you know, timelines and branching out to the point where earlier in the movie, like he saw like this scary image within running backwards, which is just like this like like symbiotic kind of like thing, which turns out to be New Flash, but just being so fucked up from going through the timelines over and over again. Because, again, I sound like I'm fucking insane. Because the original Flashpoint was really good. It was like, he went back in time, found out that, you know, Bruce Wayne was the one who was killed, not his parents. You know? And then, so Thomas Wayne, the dad, became Batman, which is, like, really, like, whoa. And it's like, you know, it was just like it was so good. And then this one, I get it, you want to do your multiverse, you want to do your member berries, but it was like, but you also have Ezra Miller as it, so it's like, you know, not the best. Anyway, what else? They did other we see the Oh yeah, so while they're arguing in their mix of, you see the different multiverses, like little multiverse spheres, and whatchamacallit, and then that was just like them being like, here, like, cool, we're doing multiverse as well. here it is in these like globy things, multiverse planet rings, whatever. Like I said, it's like little layers of stuff, whatever. You suddenly see, George Reeves. I love how it's a black and white multiverse. Like they even try to like recolor it. I was just like, oh god. And then old, yeah, you get to see, oh yeah, old G Flash, the one with like that silly helmet with the shirt and like jeans or whatever it is. You see Christopher Reeves. For a second, you probably thought it was again Henry Cavill because it kind of for a second because it was silhouetted. You thought it was gonna be him, but no, it was Christopher Reeves, which is great. Then you saw Adam West Batman, and you're like, holy fuck! But again, everything was fucking PS3 graphics. Everyone that you saw wasn't like the actors. It was like they just recreated it in like freaking Midjourney or something like that. And then they also had Nicolas Cage Superman. Remember with the long hair and that look that was supposed to be a thing that never became a thing, which is like fucking Christ, you know? Like, thank you, Joel Schumacher, for making your Batman series really like kind of dumb. So then they decided to cancel it, so that didn't happen, and it was like because he did such a poor job, and that's how we got Nolan's Batman, which is like insane. But anyway, yeah, then we got Nicolas Cage Superman, which sure, fine, whatever. So then finally, New Flash dies from things and stuff. I mean, like, it took me 2 days to get through this movie. I was like, by the time Batman got there, I was like, yeah. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take it easy on myself. And then I finished it the next day after like the full initial like, oh, Batman's here. And then this end part, while they're like dying in a field 20 times, is like me watching it another day. But yeah, Barry 2, as I call it, dies so they don't fuck shit up further, because it was like, hey, if you keep going back and trying to fix it, it's not gonna fix itself, it's gonna keep fucking up. So then, so then OG Barry goes back one more time to fix it. Like, he sees his other self putting the can of tomatoes in the thing. But he goes, speaks to his mom, obviously she doesn't know that that's his kid, that's her kid, goes, removes the can from the shopping cart, but also realizes that all the cans are below, and the point of like his dad almost just being charged for murder is that like his dad never looks up. So then he moves everything to the top shelf so the security camera could catch like the dad's face grabbing the thing. So the next day he wakes up, it's like, oh shit, it's trial. He gets there, they see the footage, it's like, oh shit, yeah, look at that, it's him, he didn't do the thing. So the dad is freed from jail, and it's like, oh my god, we're so happy, da da da. It's like, yeah, his mom is still dead, but the dad, he doesn't have extra things on top because his dad isn't also like in jail forever, da da da. And then he's on the phone, with Bruce Wayne, not sure how he didn't realize the voice was slightly different, but whatever. And then he pulls up, and his like EV comes out, and you're like, wait a, and then there's like, oh, because like all of a sudden it's George Clooney. It's George Clooney. What? Nescafe? It's George Clooney. And it's so funny because it's obvious that George Clooney is there at the place that they filmed at, because that was an actual place they filmed at. It wasn't, but then when it became the opposite shot of Ezra Miller, it was like he was just like fuzzy around. You're like, Ezra Miller wasn't there. They weren't in the same place together filming this quick last minute scene. Okay. So yeah. So there's cameos. Yeah. Anyway, my camera's about to overheat. So yeah, just it's not good. I knew it wasn't gonna be good. I only had an interest in seeing this movie because of Michael Keaton being Batman again. Oh god, more hairs falling out. Yeah, like, I probably would have watched this movie probably towards the end of the year when I'm catching up on things, or like the early next year, when I make my list and stuff. But I was like, alright, I'll watch it a little bit earlier just because, it is the Batman. But that's it. I don't know when I'm gonna get to Oppenheimer and Barbie and all that stuff, because I just don't go to the theater as much now, especially so many things are available on stream a lot faster. Plus, again, I also work a lot more nowadays, you know? So, anyway, yeah, that was The Flash. It was just not good.